Hello YouTube, and welcome to our part 2 session on using PowerPoint and Zoom for virtual teaching and learning. In this part, we'll be looking at the Zoom platform and many of its functions. All right, let's get started. Once you have signed into Zoom, you should see these three options. To schedule a meeting at a later time or date, click Schedule a Meeting and follow the guidance of the information requested. To join a meeting with a different host, click Join a Meeting and input the credentials when prompted. And to host a meeting immediately, you can click Host a Meeting and then follow those prompts. Now we will look closely at the control panel and see how many of these items function. First, we will look at Share Screen. When you click on Share Screen, you will see a pop-up that shows all the windows and applications open on your device. If you do not see the one you want to share, click on Show All Windows right here. Once you make your selection, it will highlight like this, and then you can click on Share. And your screen will share with your participants. But we're not going to do that just yet. If you plan to use any audio or video in your presentation, you want to come over here to the bottom left and click Share Computer Sound and click to optimize your screen sharing. Okay? Now, if you will look at the share screen icon, there's a drop-down button here. You may click Advanced Sharing Options, and on this pop-up box, you can select how you would like your students to be able to share their screens. Now, let's share the whiteboard. Okay, so on the whiteboard, you will be able to use these annotation tools. For example, you can use text to write in notes for your students. The draw feature may be used to draw out math problems or artwork, etc. If you want to save in the form of a screenshot, whatever you have on your screen, you can simply click on this Save button, and a picture file should save on your device. You may use any of these annotation tools on other shared screens as well, and not just the whiteboard. Now, looking at this bar at the top, you can see three dots. If you click on that, a drop down will appear, and from here you can access any of these options. But I want to bring attention to Disable Participants Annotation. So just as you are able to annotate on the screen, your participants can also annotate on the screen unless you disable their ability to do so. Sometimes students want to draw random things on your screen. Sometimes they might want to draw inappropriate things on your screen. You can disable that ability. Now, if you want them to participate by annotating certain things in your lesson, you can also click on Show Names of Annotators, and that way you can hold them accountable for whatever they draw or write on your screen. Now, when you're ready to share a new screen, you simply click on New Share and then go through that same process as we did before. And when you're ready to stop sharing, click on Stop Share. Our next step will be to look at the security function. Now, these features seem self-explanatory on face value, but I'll talk about a few ways in which you can use them. For example, lock meeting. If you enable lock meeting, this could prevent, for example, a student from entering the classroom after a cutoff time, and thereby they will be marked absent for that day. If you enable the waiting room, this can also be a way that you can check roll, because you would have to manually admit each participant into the classroom. Speaking of participants, if you click here, this will bring up a panel that will show your participants or your students initially. If you have enabled the waiting room, then this is where you will admit them. If you need to send an invite or invitation to someone who does not already have the credentials for the meeting, you click here, and then you can send that invitation by using one of these email services, or you can copy the invitation or link and paste it to wherever your location is. You may also mute all of your participants by clicking here as they enter. This will also give you the ability to choose whether or not you want them to be able to unmute themselves. Now, the chat panel is similar to the participant panel. This is where all of the chat communication will be. Each participant can choose with whom he or she wants to communicate here. However, you as the host, if you click on these little dots, then you can then choose how you want your participants to chat. And this can be changed throughout the meeting. So they can start with being able to chat with everyone. And then once the class period starts, then you can change it to only to chat with you. Now for the breakout rooms. This is one of my favorite aspects because it gives your students the ability to work together in groups without the distractions of the whole class. So let's click on the icon to get started. Here we go. As you can see, you may choose to create as many rooms as you like. I chose 18 because it shows it can go to a high number. So once this information is filled in, click Create Rooms. All of your rooms will show up here. Looking at the bottom, there's a tab called Options. If you click here, then you can fill in the parameters of your breakout rooms with this information. You may also rename your breakout rooms. Instead of just numbers, you can hover over the area and the word rename will appear. Click that, and then you can type in the name you want to have for the room. Now it's time to assign. Click Assign, and then you will see a drop down of all of your students. Simply select the students you want for that particular breakout room. Once you are finished, you will see where you can open all the rooms. When you open all the rooms, each student will receive an invitation on his or her screen to go into that particular breakout room. Then you will have this screen to be able to monitor where each student is. You may also, as the teacher or host, join each individual breakout room. You can join and come back. You can join and ask how they're doing, if they're on task, if they have any questions, etc. If you want to send a message to all students at one time, you can click Broadcast a message to all, and then type in your message. Once it's time for the rooms to close, or you want to close the rooms manually, just close all rooms. You may also record your Zoom meetings or your Zoom lessons by clicking on the record icon. If you will look at the top left-hand corner, you can see how you can pause or stop the recording, as well as the bottom. Once you end your session, your recording will convert to a file that is compatible to your device. Thanks for joining me for part 2, and don't forget to subscribe.